continuing our adventures in the creepy hidden basement of the library.
How big is this building?
A lot bigger than the blueprints would have you believe, apparently.
Those beams are wedged solid.
You think, at some point the sub-basements would have been noticed by somebody? Maybe subway tunnelers, something?
I don't actually know if the subway runs under the New York Public Library or not.
I'm just curious how long you could keep a big old sub-basement like this hidden in the city of New York.
Apparently for at least 80 years, according to the last video.
And he would have to have done it in secret. So...
Well, I think he was friends with Evo, and Evo did a bunch of contract work for the city. And not just the one building, apparently, but, like, the entire city. He's done, like, the library and the museum and all that, so...
So he just paid off a bunch of people, and every time someone like, hey, why is there a whole bunch of construction sounds coming from the library? He just kind of paid them off, or silently made them go away.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a reason he was super big evil man. Also, fighting these guys in close quarters is really dangerous, and luckily, if you use the stasis stream, that actually lowers the area of effect that their attacks can do, so it's pretty essential that you slow these guys down while fighting them in here, because it's really tight quarters.
Ow!
Yeah. It hurts a lot.
Imagine getting slammed in the face with, like, an entire copy of this Encyclopedia Britannica. Blech, I can't talk.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix just right in your schnoz.
Pow!
I don't know if it's sadder that I know which one is the longest one, or if I could just name it right off the top of my head.
The entire series of The Wheel of Time decks you in the face.
Ooh! Oh my god, that's like 13 books!
Big old books, too.
I know, I tried reading the first one, I could not get past the first 100 pages.
I'm not clear on how the flanking was supposed to work.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Oh.
These coal guys act exactly the same as the book guys. They're just made out of hot coals now. I think they might hurt more.
These are supposed to be jolly fellows, though. This isn't accurate to the story at all. Or limerick, or whatever the hell it is. Nursery rhyme?
Maybe.
You are supposed to be a merry old soul. Do not hurt me. I want to be friends. You can come heat my house in the winter.
To be fair, he also wasn't a merry old soul in Banjo-Tooie.
You're thinking of Clanker's Bad Fur Day.
No, in Banjo-Tooie, he was the boss in the train.
Oh, yeah. Who am I thinking? Oh, yeah, I'm thinking of the guy made of literal shit.
Yeah.
That was a weird cam game.
It was.
And then it got a remake on the Xbox, which is apparently really hard to find. And if you have a copy, it's very valuable.
I should have kept my copy, god damn it!
Yeah, it actually... It is... if I remember right, let me look here.
Good work.
Let's look it up here real quick.
I didn't like it as much, despite kind of liking it more a little bit. It was weird. It was one of those remakes that was both not as good, but better than the original.
Basically, it's Slime Blower Mark II, heavily
see.
modified from the earlier version.
Yeah, on Amazon, it's like $104.
God damn, I should have kept my copy.
Yeah.
Impair entities cause caustic black slime to go inert.
Oh, well.
Original one's also very valuable.
I actually have
So if you find one lying around or in a store for like $4, grab it.
Yeah. So now we have the slime blower, which is basically the same thing that they used in the second movie, but much smaller and more compact.
Cut to hell. That's convenient.
I like the color direction in this cutscene. I don't know why. It just screams early 90s to me, which is perfect for this game. Maybe it's the fact that there's actual color in it?
I'm here to return my copy of Faust.
This is what happens when you tried to read the Similarian.
She might be dead. Check her pulse.
Eerie place. I wonder if this is where the collector killed the librarian.
I wonder!
A safe assumption that book she's reading is emitting massive energy.
That's your cue, killer. Go get him.
Go make the new guy. Do it.
Hello, I'm Nameless Protagonist, and I'll be vanquishing you today.
Funny story, I've regularly run into a bug here where I get the book, she disappears, and then nothing happens. This line does not pop up, and I cannot progress the game. I have to reset it.
Well, take her skull. It'll probably really tease her off.
Now that we have it, her echo must have been released.
Yeah, probably.
She's gone. I think we helped her cross over.
Yeah,
Why did you say that? Why?
Ray?
And she just crossed right...
Oh, no.
Throw her own skeleton at her. It'll freak her out really bad and she'll leave.
Okay, so you may be wondering, hey, Kalon, we're only 7 minutes into the video. How are we already fighting the boss? This level actually kind of has 2 bosses. Actually, and this is the first one. And what you have to do is you have to spray slime at the pedestals, and eventually they'll fall down, but this is actually way harder than it sounds, and she's constantly throwing book guys at you and killing you. It's actually a really tough boss fight, this first phase.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Luckily, the slime blower, even not upgraded, does not take a lot of energy, so you can keep using it for a very long time. And that's really all that there is to this first phase of the boss fight, is just spraying slime all over the... Yeah, that happens quite a bit. I did even worse in my practice run, believe it or not. I'm so glad I wasn't recording that one, because that was a shameful display.
This is already kind of a shameful display. I can't imagine how it could get worse.
They keep moving around and switching directions. Stop it!
You're
God
literally
damn it.
getting beat up by an old woman.
She's not even old, she's dead.
She's very old.
Several more decades than most old people. I just love the way the character ragdolls when you get knocked on your ass. Because it just loses all momentum. It's great. Ragdolls are the best.
Remember that time in video games, it was like early 00s, where they had just invented ragdolls, and so everything had to ragdoll?
Yep, it was great.
It was hilarious.
The second phase of the fight is actually a way more straightforward fight, and it's way easier.
Roll a capture stream on her!
She's apparently been reading like some self-help books on how to get buff in 90 days.
Yeah. Alright, let's finish this off. This, I guess, technically mini-boss.
I used to have that sound as a notification on my phone that I had gotten a text, so every time I hear that, I get some sort of, like, weird nostalgia / panic attack.
I have set my text notification to be the Metal Gear Solid alert noise, and anytime that alert noise happens in the games, I just immediately look at my phone and be like, who's texting me?
Yeah, you and every nerd ever.
I know.
Wouldn't get too excited, Ray. I have a feeling she did it so we could meet an old friend of hers.
I forget what my old text sound used to be. I only got that. I only switched it over to that once I Once I got my new phone.
Don't worry, we do this all the time.
You're a really bad liar, Egon.
Alright, well, let's just touch this weird glowy orb thing.
Touch this glowy spinny ball.
Oh no! Look out!
This may have been a bad idea.
May have been a terrible idea.
So this is what the public...
Anyway, welcome to the Ghost World. I think this part of the game's really fucking cool, except for, like, one part.
We're still stuck, though. Unless you guys can fly.
Yes, well, this looks like the...
So, this is the part of the game where it stops being a nostalgia trip and starts being Ghostbusters 3. Because all of the bosses from now on will no longer be things that you have already seen in previous movies.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's references still, but, I mean, there's not a single, well, this was in Ghostbusters 2, so now you have to fight it again. Though, to be fair, I think I would have loved having to fight the Scolari brothers.
That would have been cool.
That would have been a neat boss fight. I would have enjoyed that. Maybe in Ghostbusters the video game too, which will never be made.
How did they get there before you?
The scientific method?
Very carefully. Also, dick move.
Natives are restless.
And despite the fact that you're fighting this one alone, it's actually way easier because you have way more room to maneuver around. And also, if you, for some reason, are backed into a corner, you can actually use those portals to teleport around the room. It's a really neat feature, but, I mean, if you're good at just slowing them down and then blasting them once you've cooled down, you don't really need them. But they do a lot of neat things like that in the Ghost World, and I wish we just would come back once. Just once, because that would have been really cool, but I'm glad it didn't overstay its welcome and instead understayed.
To come back at least once more, though?
Yeah, but you don't do anything like this.
Yeah, alright, fair enough.
I think the next time you come back is literally just a boss fight, and you don't get to do anything cool like portal navigate. Cursed rug.
Go great on our cursed living room.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been looking at these, but, well, I think I've only posted one so far, but...
There is one that I remember that's my absolute favorite, and I don't know if you've gotten it or not, so I'm not going to say what it is.
Okay, well, you can actually look at them in the firehouse in between levels. It's pretty great. You can walk around. You can even interact with some of them. We got a toaster, and when you interact with it, it just bobbles around like in Ghostbusters 2. And this fight is actually pretty dangerous because you're in a very narrow space and you're fighting it alone.
It's kinda...
Yeah.
That looked like it would hurt.
Yeah, it probably would. I imagine getting shoved back by paper hurts a lot.
Wonder how many of these are Bibles.
That's hilariously blasphemous, and now I cannot stop thinking about it.
Well, that was embarrassing. Looks like a good place for slime tether.
So the slime tether is the secondary fire of the slime blower, and it's mostly useless for the most part. There are a couple really annoying places where you have to use it. Anybody who has played this game already knows exactly what I'm talking about.
You can blast an existing tether with any other switch type to destroy it.
This is what I felt like when I had a cold. Just shooting these out of my nose everywhere.
Yeah, colds suck.
Like some kind of messed up version of Spider-Man.
So they really want you to get used to using the slime tether, even though you'll only really use it like 2 more times in the game after this part. I don't know, maybe it does have some other nice function that I'm missing, but I've just never experimented with it enough.
So I don't remember, are you generating slime, or is it just the only compressible liquid known to man?
I'm not actually sure. In the PS2 version of the game, they somehow explain it away as it being like self-replicating or some shit. I don't really get it.
Wasn't it supposed to be kind of sentient? So I could buy self-replicating.
Yeah, okay. Oh. Well. Okay, so this is the part of the level I don't like, because there's only one ghost in this room, but he uses the mirrors to travel around. There's a shitload of mirrors, and he moves around a lot, and he likes to hop into them a lot, and he's a general pain in the ass to fight.
This is a 2009 game. I'm gonna guess you can't see your reflection.
No. No, you can't. Although I can buy it because it's spooky and haunted. It's not like Watch Dogs where they just didn't bother.
You know what's weird is like 2005, The Darkness. That had you had a body and you had a reflection, and I can count the number of games on one hand that I've seen do that so far. Like GTA 5 is one of the ones. It's just really, really rare to see your own reflection in a game. I don't know why.
Because it's really hard to do and really expensive and generally not worth it, and most people will not notice.
Yeah, but then Duke Nukem Forever did it, so I don't know what the hell.
Well, I mean, Duke Nukem Forever did a lot of things. Most of which not good.
You have so much bad luck right now.
Yeah, I'm just being willy-nilly about destroying the mirrors because that just gives them less place to hide, but yeah, I probably have about, I don't know, 400 or 500 years of bad luck right now.
It's also probably not a great idea to rain glass shards down on yourself. Thought paper cuts were bad. This is an entirely new...
This is a whole nother level of paper cut.
This is an entirely different kettle of fish.
There he is, finally. God damn it. This is the only one of these guys you fight in the game, so if you don't scan him for your codex now, well then, fuck you. Play the level over. Oh, come on. Oh no, I had realized that I hadn't gotten a good scan of him yet, so that's what that was. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh no, almost fucked up.
I didn't get that, like, $700 that I definitely don't need because you can pretty much buy everything in the game, like, 2 levels before the end, as long as you're getting all of the cursed artifacts. They're worth $1,500 a pop, so they add up.
Really thankful that none of these lead to just emptiness.
Yeah?
Very considerate of the ghosts, considering they can all float.
Yeah. I never even thought of it like that.
Maybe there's like a council, like a city council for the ghosts, and they have like a corporeal entities act where you have to, you have to make everything corporeal. Corporeal? Am I saying that right? Corporeal accessible. Corporeal.
Yes.
Corporeal accessible.
If you look down there, you can see either Ray or Egon running around, but I think I missed them.
It seems to be tearing itself apart.
You have to be kind of quick on the draw in order to see them. Also, these guys will mostly ignore you as long as you just run straight for the exit.
They're the birds of Ghost World. You get them down to the park and feed them printer ink. One old guy there with the typewriter ribbon. Stoling it out in small pieces.
Yep. Pretty much. This part can be deceptively hard because at this point you're used to people being with you, so, if you're fighting a bunch of these guys at once and get knocked down, it's no big deal because you have buddies to revive you. You don't have that here, so it's very easy to just go, hey, I can just run in there, guns akimbo, and my buddies will revive me, and then be like, oh, I died. Whoops.
So, like, Sun Tzu's ghost is somewhere in here, seeing like, see, I told you, idiots, divide and conquer. This is so much easier when they're alone. Now, if you would just listen to me and put one of these portals over nothingness, I'll walk into them. They'll do it.
Yeah, there it is. They're
kind of stupid as hell.
I think that's Egon down there.
Totally inverted.
We're almost done this area, which, I mean, I'm kind of sad to see it go because it's got a bunch of really interesting ideas, but at the same time, I'm kind of tired of being alone and not being able to just be way less gun-happy than I am.
I think you'd be more used to being alone, Kalon.
Oh, that's...
That was a little mean, actually.
Anyway, sneaky collectible. So this room is inverted, and one of the chairs on the ceiling is cursed. That one took me a while to find. I think I actually had to look at a playthrough.
Why is just that one chair, though?
We won't leave until you find us.
Is that like the death chair?
Look at the long staircase. The exit portal is at the very top.
Oh, and fuck this part right here, because...
Oh, hold on. How do you know that?
No, he's already been this way.
Oh.
Yeah, we saw him walking down earlier, and
Oh, we did, yeah! Good job, game.
Anyway, this part is a bitch because I died like 5 times in my practice run, and I'm not sure if destroying these has any, like, positive effect on how you can progress, because I think they just constantly respawn. So you just want to be quick. I don't know how I did not get hurt there.
Very, very lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, they do eventually respawn, especially the ones that are particularly, like, just flying right in your face in erratic patterns. Uh-oh.
This entire area is just very early 0000s game. Like, this would not look out of place in, like, Painkiller or something?
Yeah, there is a early PlayStation 2 game, well, not early PlayStation 2, but early 2000s PlayStation 2 game that I have called Alter Echo, and this level would not look out of place in it. Then again, Alter Echo is kind of a really weird game that I want to show off, but I'm not very good at it, I've learned by replaying it.
Since when has that stopped?
True.
Just do a stream of it one day.
Yeah. I don't know why it takes this particular land strip so long to reattach itself. Alright, come on. Come on. And... like a glove.
I just realized what this is reminding me of.
What?
The Scarecrow levels in Arkham Asylum.
Oh, yeah. That was also a 2009 game, I think. Yeah, 2009, because it was supposed to be an every other year franchise, and then that didn't happen.
Weird how much better that game looks than this one.
This one had been in development for a very long time. I think Arkham Asylum was only a 2-year dev cycle. This one was like 6. It also changed developers a lot, and, like, quite honestly, I'm astounded that this game turned out as good as it did for how cursed it was.
6 years, yeah, so they would have started in Xbox and PS2.
Extremely thin here.
Yeah, so they would have started that gen. They would have been developing for that, probably.
As it lore wants to add to his collection.
If not that, then they probably would have been developing for really early PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, like maybe potential launch titles. Or near launch, but... I mean, considering how long the PS3 and Xbox 360 were around, 2009 is kind of near launch title.
And Ray fucks everything up again.
To be fair, I think that would have happened even if Ray hadn't attempted the dragon. Even if he hadn't poked it with a stick, I think this still would have happened. Anyway, Azaltor is it's a really fucking hard boss fight. Holy shit, like, this is way harder than anything else that the game has thrown at you, and I really like it. This is a really cool boss fight. So, unlike the, so the first phase, you have to spray slime into the mask, and then eventually tear the mask off, and then that's when things get really fucking hard. This guy hits like a truck, he's really mobile, he has a ton of moves, and your only real advantage is that you can use portals to move around quickly and avoid a lot of his attacks.
I'm
it's
just
still really tough, though.
Laughing at Ray getting bounced around like a trampoline there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Azaltor is, or Azaltor, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, but he is tough. And he likes to focus on you a lot. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, you pissed in his Cheerios specifically.
He recognizes, you know, that you are the only one here who is actually capable of defeating him. He's breaking the fourth wall a little bit.
Yeah, and also he can do that. He has like a ground shockwave move that just throws you up into the air. He summons a ton of books. He can slam into you. If you walk too close to him, his books will just rip you to shreds. It is a really tough boss fight, but it is also really good.
His taste in chandeliers is a little bit questionable, though. Maybe, you know, hurt his feelings by calling him on that.
And you'll see it at the end of this video, but the PS2 version of this boss fight is really, really different. It is super different how... It is really weird how different this boss fight is. Like, they're not even the same, like, design-wise.
Could be trouble.
What I'm getting is that Ghostbusters are turtles, and if you knock them on their back, they can't get up on their own.
This took a lot longer on my practice run, so I'm just really glad that I got a relatively usable take when I was actually recording, because that almost never happens. Come on. Yeah, there we go.
You?
Azaltor, okay.
There's a new portal back here. Come on, Rook, that's gotta be the way.
You're not actually on a time limit, I just like to run for dramatic effect.
What the hell were you guys? I've been running all...
We went to Chipotle. We tried to call you, but you weren't answering yourself.
They step out of a giant glowing portal, and Winston's like, "Where have you been?"
An alternate version of the New York Public Library and fought a 40-foot monster made out of priceless antiques to steal an ancient magical book.
Oh, well. That would
I think he accepts that excuse.
Well, they did just step out of a giant glowing portal.
Ray, does this mean anything to you?
Nope, it wasn't here the first time we came through.
Are you sure? Their interior decorator is a little bit adventurous.
Whatever it is, you just turned it off.
New York's doing weird shit all the time, so who knows?
This might be like some of that Art Deco crap I've heard about.
Oh, yeah.
no visible anchovy.
Maybe later. Right now, I need to go back.
That avant-garde shit that everybody's always going on.
It could help us when we go to the museum.
Slice to go on the way? Rookie's treat?
I just want some pizza. Come on.
What this is.
Well, we haven't even gotten paid yet. I'm pretty sure this is an unpaid internship, even. So you finally fight the book golems here, and the book golems work in a way different way in this game. You still have to whittle down their health, but every once in a while they'll have a weak point that it gets exposed that you need to grab with the proton beam and then slam in the specific direction that they tell you to slam it in. Overall, I think it's a little more annoying because the best way to deal with them is to just spam the shotgun thing and then switch to the proton pack, but at least switching in this game doesn't take nearly as long, so I can't really complain that much. So I was going to say that the differences between the PS2 and PS3 versions of the librarian fight are pretty different, but actually they're not. The only difference is that you don't have the slime blower yet, so you can't use that against the podiums. Instead, you just use your proton pack or your shotgun to try and hit them, but they move around a lot and they're kind of tough. But after that, it's really easy, much like in the PlayStation 3 version of the fight. The second phase of the fight is the way easier part. The differences in the Ghost World are that Ghost World is actually just a bunch of portals that you walk through, and they're all interconnected, and there's no enemies in it, and it's kind of boring, actually, which is disappointing, because Ghost World in the PlayStation 3 version, as I said, is one of my favorite parts of the game. However, the Azotor fight is really different. First of all, look at this. He is designed completely differently. And the way that you're supposed to beat him is that every once in a while he'll hawk this loogie filled with books at you. At least I think they're books. And you grab them, and then you fire them back at his head. And then that stuns him, and then you grab one of his tentacles and try to slam it down. After every tentacle, he'll call in reinforcements. And the third reinforcement also brings in a book golem. All in all, it's not that hard of a fight, but, I mean, it just takes a while to figure out. I certainly didn't get it that well. It's way easier than the Azotor fight in the PlayStation 3 version, though. Still like both boss fights. I'll see you all next time.